There is a secret law that governs all wealth, a divine rhythm that answers not to labor or logic, but to vibration. Money is not a cold, lifeless thing. It is spirit in motion. It listens, it feels, it obeys the tone of your inner world. Big money rushes to you not because of chance, effort, or education, but because of alignment. The moment you tune your heart to abundance, the universe quickens its pace toward you. You are not here to chase wealth. You are here to magnetize it. To chase is to confess lack. To attract is to declare possession. When your words, thoughts, and feelings harmonize with prosperity, wealth cannot resist you. It must flow to you by divine decree. The gold, the opportunities, the clients, the business, the miracles, they are all drawn by one invisible magnet: your faith. Faith is not blind hope, it is spiritual knowing. It is the invisible cord that binds the seen and unseen, pulling riches from the ether into your reality. The great secret is this: money has ears for conviction. It moves where it is welcomed, where it is loved, where it is spoken of as a friend, not feared as a stranger. When you speak of money with resentment or doubt, you push it away. When you bless it, when you honor it as part of divine circulation, you open a golden gate for it to rush in. Every word you utter about money carries creative power. I never have enough builds walls. I am open to receive endless supply tears them down. Your world mirrors your consciousness. If you are holding the vibration of worry, no amount of physical work can outpace that energy. But one word of unwavering faith can open the heavens. When you stand in certainty that your supply is endless, doors swing open without your effort. People appear at the right time. Unexpected checks arrive. Businesses flourish. Big money moves faster to the one who knows it is already theirs in spirit. You must speak the language of wealth, not the dialect of struggle. Every time you say, I can't afford it, you close the gate. Every time you say, money flows freely to me in divine ways, you open a floodgate. Speak as one who has already received. Feel the joy before the evidence. When you walk as if your treasure has already arrived, you become the living prophecy of abundance fulfilled. Remember, it is not outer conditions that determine your prosperity. It is inner conviction. Money obeys confidence. Money hurries to certainty. It delays only for doubt. You must train your consciousness to expect good and reject every thought of limitation. The invisible law says what you expect, you attract; what you fear, you delay. So if you wish for big money to rush to you, prepare your inner home. Sweep away fear, dust off disbelief, and light the lamp of gratitude. Gratitude multiplies supply. Every time you bless what you have, it grows. Every time you curse what you lack, it diminishes. Say within yourself, divine substance now manifests for me in perfect ways. My supply is unlimited, immediate, and ever increasing. Say it until it sings in your bones. Say it until your mind no longer doubts. Say it until the outer world rearranges itself to match your song. Big money rushes to you because of this: your unwavering faith, your fearless speech, and your recognition that you are already one with infinite supply. The universe moves at the command of your belief. When you believe in shortage, you summon delay. When you believe in abundance, you summon acceleration. Let this be the truth that governs your life: money is your servant, not your master. It comes to the one who knows how to call it with love, gratitude, and certainty. As you stand in the vibration of abundance, the great tide of wealth cannot help but find its way to you. Swiftly, joyfully, irresistibly, big money rushes to the one whose faith is stronger than their fear. Faith is the unseen force that commands substance into form. It is the quiet assurance that what you seek already exists in the invisible, waiting for your conviction to call it forth. Fear is the shadow that doubts this truth, whispering that you are unworthy, that the supply is limited, that your dreams are too large. Every soul must choose daily between faith and fear, between trust in divine supply and surrender to worldly illusion. When you choose faith, you align with the infinite intelligence that governs all creation, and the currents of wealth begin to move in your direction. Not by accident, but by divine law. The universe is designed to obey the vibration of certainty. Faith is that vibration, the steady hum of spiritual knowing that speaks louder than circumstance. When fear speaks, it creates delay, for fear vibrates on the frequency of lack. It tells the universe, I do not believe I will receive, And the universe answers, so it is. But when faith speaks, it declares, my good is already on the way. And the universe rushes to fulfill that command. Faith does not beg, it knows. It does not strain, it expects. It is a calm assurance that the supply is already yours in divine substance, awaiting only your recognition. Faith draws to you opportunities, people, ideas, and resources that seem miraculous to the outer mind, but to the inner one, it is simply the law in motion. You do not need to understand how the money will come, only that it must come. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It turns invisible energy into tangible wealth. Those who possess unshakable faith never speak of lack, for they know that every need is already supplied. They walk as if the treasure has been delivered, and so it must be. When your faith is greater than your fear, doors open before you even knock. The universe rearranges itself to accommodate your certainty. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, hearing the right word, meeting the right person. The supply that once seemed delayed begins to flow with effortless speed, for faith removes the resistance that slows divine movement. Every thought of doubt is a brick in the wall that blocks your supply, and every affirmation of faith removes a brick until the way is clear. Faith says, there's always more where that came from, while fear clings to what little it sees. Faith gives freely, knowing that circulation is the secret of abundance. Fear hoards, believing it must protect itself from loss. But what fear holds tightly soon slips away, for nothing can remain where fear resides. Money thrives in an atmosphere of confidence. It flees where it is feared, doubted, or despised. When your faith radiates certainty, money feels welcomed and moves swiftly toward you. The individual whose faith is alive does not wait for conditions to be perfect. They begin with what they have, trusting that every step forward reveals the next. They speak words of power, not worry. They declare abundance even in the midst of emptiness, knowing that words spoken in faith create the reality they describe. The one who says, I am rich in divine substance, though their purse be empty, plants the seed that must blossom into tangible prosperity. Faith never looks to appearances, for appearances are but temporary illusions shaped by past thinking. Faith looks only to truth. That divine supply is infinite, immediate, and personal. Fear has no substance of its own. It feeds on imagination misused. It paints pictures of failure and lack, convincing the mind that the unseen cannot be trusted. But faith uses that same imagination to picture fulfillment, to see the invisible as already made visible. The secret lies in emotional tone. Fear charges your imagination with anxiety, faith charges it with power. The moment you choose to feel the reality of your desire, instead of the absence of it, you shift your vibration. That shift is the signal that summons supply. Faith speaks in affirmations that awaken power. Everything I need is now appearing in divine order. Wealth flows to me from expected and unexpected channels. My prosperity is assured. Such declarations, repeated with conviction, engrave themselves on the subconscious mind, which in turn commands the outer world to comply. The subconscious is the soil, faith is the seed. Whatever seed you plant there will grow, but the soil cannot distinguish between the seeds of fear and the seeds of faith. It simply produces according to the impression you give it. If you feed it fear, it brings forth delay. If you feed it faith, it brings forth supply. When you anchor your mind in faith, you stop resisting your good. You cease to ask how and start affirming now. You release the tension that blocks flow. You become a clear channel for divine energy to move through. In that state, ideas arrive that lead to action, intuition sharpens, and creativity awakens. Money is drawn to clarity. Confusion repels it. Fear clouds your vision and slows your progress, while faith sharpens your perception and accelerates results. Big money does not come to those who plead for it, it comes to those who expect it. Expectation is faith in motion. It is the invisible magnet that tells the universe you are ready to receive. Those who live in faith carry a presence that commands opportunities. They are not surprised when abundance arrives. They are only grateful. Their confidence is not arrogance but divine assurance. They understand that prosperity is not granted to a select few but to all who align with the law of belief. Fear says, what if it doesn't happen? Faith says, it already has. Fear waits for evidence before believing. Faith believes and then the evidence appears. In every moment you are choosing which voice to follow. One leads to delay and discouragement, the other leads to rapid manifestation. The difference between those who struggle and those who prosper is not luck, timing, or intelligence. It is faith. Faith is the golden key that unlocks every vault of supply. It is the still, unwavering conviction that divine substance cannot fail. When faith rules your consciousness, fear becomes powerless. You begin to feel the invisible support of life itself moving in your favor. The very air seems charged with possibility. You sense that you are backed by infinite intelligence, and in that awareness, all hesitation dissolves. Money, being spirit in action, recognizes this vibration and rushes to serve its rightful master. To live in faith is to live above circumstance. It is to know that no matter what the outer world displays, the inner truth remains unchanged. Supply is endless, abundance is natural, and your connection to it is unbreakable. Faith transforms what appears impossible into inevitable. It is the inner decree that commands outward manifestation. It does not waver when the evidence seems contrary. It stands firm, knowing that every delay is only divine timing at work. The power of faith is creative, magnetic, and immediate. It multiplies whatever it touches because it carries the vibration of divine assurance. When your faith is stronger than your fear, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself to fulfill your belief. The rivers of supply begin to flow faster, opportunities multiply, and prosperity comes from directions you never imagined. Faith lifts you into the rhythm of divine abundance, where effort becomes ease and wealth becomes expression. It is not the work of your hands that brings big money rushing to you, but the work of your belief. Your words and feelings create the magnetic field that draws wealth toward you. Every word you speak is a command to the universe, a decree that sets unseen forces into motion. Words are not idle sounds, they are vibrations, creative instruments that shape your reality. The tone, energy, and intention behind your words form a frequency that either attracts abundance or repels it. The same law that governs the growth of a seed governs the power of speech. What you plant with your words, nourished by your feelings, must manifest in due season. When your words are filled with conviction, joy, and expectation, they radiate a magnetic current that draws prosperity toward you with irresistible force. The unseen law of life responds not to what you say mechanically, but to what you feel deeply. Feelings are the electric current behind every word. A word spoken without emotion has no creative charge, but a word saturated with faith and gratitude becomes a decree of power. When you affirm wealth with joy, when you feel it as though it were already present, you activate divine substance. The universe listens to your vibration, not your vocabulary. You may say, "I am prosperous," but if beneath the words you feel fear or disbelief, the vibration of lack cancels the decree. But if you speak those same words with conviction, feeling their truth is already accomplished, you send out a magnetic call that wealth cannot ignore. Money is sensitive to energy. It moves in response to belief and emotion. It recognizes the tone of your vibration long before it recognizes your effort. There are those who work tirelessly and yet struggle financially, while others seem to attract wealth effortlessly. The difference lies in vibration. Words born from faith attract, words born from worry repel. You can speak abundance, but if you feel unworthy, the universe mirrors that feeling back to you. This is why true prosperity begins within. The way you speak about money reveals the way you feel about it, and the way you feel determines what you attract. When you say, "I never have enough," you are not simply describing your condition, you are renewing it. Every complaint, every fearful statement, becomes a seed that must produce after its kind. The law does not judge, it simply fulfills. If you affirm lack, you receive lack. If you affirm abundance, you receive abundance. The universe takes your word as command. You are the scriptwriter of your experience, and your emotions are the ink with which the script is written. When you combine word and feeling, you release magnetic power. When you bless your finances, you multiply them. When you curse them, you diminish them. Begin to treat your words as sacred tools. Speak not of what you fear, but of what you desire. Speak as if the wealth you seek were already here, for in the unseen realm, it is. Every word of truth spoken with feeling dissolves the illusion of limitation. When you say, "Money flows to me in perfect, divine ways," and you feel the joy of that truth, you align with the vibration of receiving. The universe knows no resistance to such harmony. It rushes to match that energy with visible supply. The more consistently you speak from faith rather than doubt, the stronger your magnetic field becomes, until abundance flows naturally and continuously. Feelings are the compass of creation. When you feel good, you are aligned with divine supply. When you feel anxious, you are out of tune. Money is not drawn to desperation, it is drawn to confidence. The universe is generous but impartial. It mirrors your inner tone without question. To change your outer world, you must first change the frequency of your emotions. This is not a matter of pretending, but of believing. Faith is a feeling of certainty, not of effort. You do not beg for wealth. You assume it is already yours and express that assumption through your words. Every time you speak of prosperity with genuine gratitude, you amplify the current that draws more to you. Gratitude is the highest vibration of receiving. It says, "I have," and by the law of life, what you acknowledge increases. Complaining says, "I lack," and by the same law, what you deny disappears. Speak the language of gratitude, and you become a magnet for continuous blessings. The moment you give thanks for something not yet visible, you invite it to become visible. The feeling of thankfulness is a signal to the universe that you have already received, and the universe must deliver in kind. Your mind is the transmitter, and your heart is the receiver. Together, they create the energetic field that shapes your experience. Every thought you think and every word you speak is charged with emotion, and that emotion becomes a vibration broadcast to the universe. You are constantly sending signals of abundance or signals of limitation. The universe merely echoes them back. When you combine thought, word, and emotion in harmony with abundance, you create a magnetic field so strong that wealth must find its way to you, often through channels beyond your imagination. To master this law, you must learn the discipline of speech and feeling. Never allow words of lack to escape your lips, for every word is a seed. When you catch yourself speaking of shortage, immediately replace it with truth. Divine supply is unlimited and flowing to me now. Speak it with warmth, with joy, with faith. Let your body feel the vibration of those words. See yourself surrounded by abundance. Hear the sound of overflowing blessings. Imagine the feeling of financial ease, and let that feeling dwell within you. The more you live in that emotional state, the stronger your attraction power becomes. You can feel when your vibration is right. It feels light, expansive, confident. That is the frequency that calls forth wealth. When you are in harmony with it, you do not chase money. It finds you. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Doors open suddenly. People are drawn to help you. And resources come in ways you could not have planned. All of this happens because your words and feelings send a clear signal that says, "I am ready. I am receptive. I am aligned." Be mindful of how you speak about others' wealth as well. Envy and criticism create resistance. Bless the prosperity you see, for what you bless expands in your own life. When you see someone succeed, say within, "What blesses them blesses me, for we are one in divine supply." Such words dissolve envy and replace it with faith in the abundance available to all. You cannot attract what you resent. To attract wealth, you must love it, honor it, and recognize it as divine energy in motion. The tone of your voice carries vibration. Even silent words spoken within the heart emit frequency. When your inner dialogue is filled with worry, the energy of that worry surrounds you like a fog. But when your inner speech becomes an unbroken stream of truth, statements of abundance, gratitude, and expectation, you clear the atmosphere for miracles. Begin each day by declaring words of power. Today, I am a magnet for prosperity. Divine substance flows through every area of my life. I am open, ready, and worthy. As you speak, feel the energy behind the words. Feel it as real, alive, unfolding. Emotion is the key that unlocks manifestation. The stronger your feeling, the faster the response. This is why joy and gratitude are the highest states for creating abundance. They match the frequency of the universe's own giving nature. When your emotions align with joy, you move in harmony with divine flow, and wealth hastens to meet you. You become a living magnet, effortlessly drawing to yourself all that resonates with your energy. Your words and feelings are creative forces that never sleep. They are shaping your tomorrow even as you speak today. Every moment is a new opportunity to adjust your vibration, to speak with more confidence, to feel with more faith. When you realize that wealth is not something you chase, but something you magnetize through energy, everything changes. You begin to understand that the world is responding to you, not the other way around. The more love, faith, and gratitude you pour into your words, the faster abundance responds, for it always rushes to those who speak from the vibration of truth and divine assurance. Gratitude and certainty open the floodgates of divine supply. Gratitude is the golden key that unlocks every door of abundance. It is not merely polite appreciation, but a deep spiritual recognition that you are already connected to infinite supply. The heart that is truly grateful lives in the vibration of having, not wanting, and the universe mirrors that vibration perfectly. When you are grateful, you affirm that good is already present, and by the invisible law of attraction, more good must appear. Certainty is gratitude's companion. It is the steadfast knowing that what you desire is already yours in divine substance. When these two forces combine, gratitude and certainty, they form an irresistible current that sweeps every obstacle from your path and draws wealth to you with divine speed. Gratitude transforms your consciousness from lack to abundance. Every time you give thanks, you shift your focus from what is missing to what is available, and that shift multiplies your blessings. The mind that complains closes its channel, but the mind that praises expands it. When you give thanks for the smallest good, you open the door for greater good to enter. Every moment of genuine gratitude radiates a frequency that says, I have, and by eternal law, that which you have in consciousness increases. Gratitude is magnetic because it carries the vibration of fulfillment. It tells the universe that you are ready to receive more, not because you need more, but because you appreciate what already is. Certainty, on the other hand, is the unshakable foundation upon which abundance is built. It is not arrogance, but divine trust. It does not question, will it happen, but declares, it already is. Certainty is the energy of completion. It closes the gap between desire and manifestation. When you are certain, you stop asking and begin allowing. You no longer chase, you simply expect. This expectation is not passive, it is power in stillness. It is the spiritual stance of one who knows the universe must deliver, because it already has in the unseen. Certainty is what removes all resistance. It is the vibration of peace in motion, the quiet authority that calls forth manifestation with no strain, no struggle, and no delay. When you wake each morning and give thanks for wealth not yet visible, you activate divine law. You are speaking from the end, declaring that your desire is fulfilled, and that declaration sets creation in motion. Every time you express gratitude for what you desire as if it were already here, you instruct the universe to bring it forth. The emotion of gratitude bridges the unseen and the seen. It is faith made tangible, love made practical. The grateful heart is never poor, for it sees abundance even in its infancy, and what it sees multiplies. Certainty does not need outer proof. It is the quiet voice within that says, I know. When you are certain, your energy becomes stable, your vibration consistent. You no longer send mixed signals to the universe. You are aligned, unwavering, grounded in divine truth. The uncertain mind delays manifestation, because it wavers between belief and doubt, sending one vibration today and another tomorrow. But the certain mind is constant, it emits one steady frequency, and the universe, being exact in its response, matches that frequency with precision. That is why those who live in certainty seem to experience miracles. They are simply in harmony with divine law. When you combine gratitude and certainty, you live in the vibration of, already done. This vibration is the most powerful creative state. It is the secret that dissolves struggle. When you are grateful, you feel rich. When you are certain, you know you are rich. The feeling of richness attracts riches, and the knowing of riches anchors them. This is the divine paradox of manifestation. You must feel it before you see it, know it before you hold it. The grateful and certain soul walks as if every desire has been fulfilled, and therefore, every desire must fulfill itself. Gratitude softens the heart, opens the spirit, and clears the channel for divine flow. It removes resistance born of fear and impatience. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. Gratitude dissolves anxiety because it shifts attention from what is absent to what is present. It affirms that life is working in your favor. Every time you say, "Thank you," you affirm divine order, and divine order multiplies in your experience. Gratitude turns delay into preparation, obstacles into opportunities, and insufficiency into overflowing supply. It changes the atmosphere around you, drawing to you people, resources, and opportunities that match your higher vibration. Certainty gives structure to that flow. It tells the universe you are serious, that you are unwavering, that you trust. It transforms faith from a wish into a command. Those who are certain speak differently. They declare, not plead. They act as if every step is guided and every need is met. Their words carry authority, their energy calm yet powerful. The universe loves certainty because certainty is order, and divine law responds to order. When you declare, "All my needs are met in divine time and divine ways," and you feel the certainty of that truth, the supply begins to rush toward you from every direction. Both gratitude and certainty are inner states, but they create outer miracles. Together, they generate a field so magnetic that nothing can resist it. Gratitude raises your vibration, certainty stabilizes it. Gratitude opens the door, certainty keeps it open. Gratitude says, "I receive." Certainty says, "It is done." The interplay between these two states keeps divine energy in motion around you, constantly attracting, expanding, and circulating abundance. Every spiritual master has lived by these two laws in perfect harmony. Knowing that gratitude aligns you with receiving and certainty anchors you in knowing. If you practice gratitude without certainty, you may feel inspired but ungrounded, thankful yet unsure. If you practice certainty without gratitude, you may become rigid, claiming what you do not emotionally feel. But when you unite them, you become unstoppable. Gratitude fuels the fire of certainty, and certainty gives direction to gratitude. You begin to move through life as one who knows and rejoices, and this combination is irresistible to the universe. The flow of abundance becomes effortless, because you have matched the rhythm of divine supply. Even in moments of apparent lack, gratitude and certainty can transform everything. When appearances seem contrary, that is when gratitude becomes most powerful. To give thanks in the face of difficulty is to declare your trust in divine law. It says, "Though I do not yet see it, I know it is done." That is certainty disguised as faith. And when you maintain that vibration long enough, the outer world rearranges itself to match your inner knowing. The invisible always precedes the visible, and the feeling of gratitude and certainty always precedes manifestation. When you are grateful, you harmonize with divine circulation. You become both giver and receiver. You see wealth not as something to get, but as something to express. When you are certain, you release all fear of loss because you know the source is infinite. These two states free you from struggle, fear, and competition. They lift you into the consciousness of divine abundance, where all good flows freely and continuously. Every day is an opportunity to deepen your gratitude and strengthen your certainty. Begin by blessing everything in your life. Your home, your health, your opportunities, your finances, even your challenges. Bless them as channels through which divine good flows. Speak words of gratitude for what you already possess and for what is coming. Feel the certainty that every desire is already fulfilled in spirit. As you do this, you build a momentum that becomes unstoppable. Gratitude and certainty are the twin pillars of prosperity consciousness. They carry the energy of divine completion. The grateful heart attracts, the certain mind anchors. Together, they form the magnetic current that opens the floodgates of supply. The universe cannot resist a thankful spirit or an unwavering mind, for both reflect the nature of the divine itself, abundant, generous, and eternally sure of its own creation.